All right, cool. So you posted today that you're enjoying your retirement after being a carpenter, but you started a new chapter in your life helping people fix their credit. Tell us all about this new venture of yours.
Absolutely. They talk about blessings coming, and when you pray for certain things, blessings come, and they may be disguised as something you don't really recognize. Thus, credit restoration. I always knew it was important, but I was never taught financial literacy in school, as a lot of us weren't. This company here has been around since 2004. Word of mouth only. You'd never see a commercial advertising about them, but they're the real deal, brother. We have 12 outstanding services that are life-changing. And I always tell Raider Nation, I've got a special deal for you that I can offer you. Come on board, get your finances in order, leave a legacy for your kids and your kids' kids. Just change your life completely.
And you said that recruitment's been going well, right?
It's going well, brother. The nation has seen my posts, and they've seen it consistently, and they're reaching back.
All right, now, so on top of that, you have your signature V57 cigars for sale, as well as merchandise on motorsports.com. Talk about your V57 cigars and motorsports.com.
The V57s was the byproduct of someone I didn't even know, a cigar manufacturer, who watched me always post up on social media enjoying a nice cigar and a glass of bourbon or whatever, you know. But they posed to me this question: why are you posting somebody else's cigars when you should have your own? And I kind of ignored the whole gesture for about a week or so, never returned a call or a text, but they were persistent. And it was another blessing coming, and I was like, before I turned my back on it, something said, hear the guy out and talk to him. So after doing that, it's been about 2 years now, and, just selling them word of mouth. But they're, like I say, a private blend that's made for me to just raise my brand, so to speak. And like I said, it's been a blessing, Homer. That's my way of relaxing after a long day. And sometimes during game day, I just do it just as part of my ritual. But awesome cigars. So anybody that's into that, brothers and sisters, just hit me up at Violator57 on Twitter.
All right, cool. And then motorsports.com. I got to say, I bought the Just Do You, You Can't F That Up shirt. I love that shirt. It really touches the heart, So talk about motorsports.com.
Motorsports is my baby, so to speak. I'm an old Johnny Quest freak from when I was a kid. So I fell in love with Komodo Dragon. So when I was competing in bodybuilding back in the 80s, I didn't want to wear what everybody else had. I wanted my own stuff. So being an artist, I said, you know what? I'm going to draw my own designs and put them on my sweatshirt or whatever it was. That's how it started. So Motorsports is that. It's sports apparel for the fitness enthusiasts, and the Just Do You type shirts or pick up face shirts are my positive messages that I feel are lacking in today's society. So I'm always reaching for Generation Next, in that respect, giving them something visual. And even people my age will see it and it speaks to them. And that's the kind of designs that I come up with. Stuff that makes you think, food for thought, so to speak, because there's enough foolishness out there being printed. Put something that's got some spiritual nature to it that will make you stop and hesitate for a second and, take a look at your own self in the mirror.
Amen to that, man. That's cool, man. Yeah, because, the branding age is here, right? Social media, YouTube, all that. So yeah, to put something with some spirituality, I guess, like you're saying, behind it, that's cool. Something that touches somebody's heart and resonates with them, and not just just something that you're selling. So that's a real cool idea.
Or something that's trending. These designs, I design them to surpass time, man. They will never have to change. They still mean the same thing years down the road.
Raiders! Oh my God, I messed it all up. Anyways, hey, all right. Woo, it's game day, baby. Here we go, Raider Nation, man. Thank you for tuning in to Raider Homer's pregame show. Akil, man, it's good to see you in the chat line, bro. Looking forward to seeing you at the South Austin Beer Garden. Man, the Bucs versus the Raiders, y'all. Hey, this is a great opportunity for Derek Carr to come in to, and shake that monkey off his back. If you remember in 2014, Derek Carr's first game against the Patriots, he had a good shot at beating those Patriots, man. But of course, the lead was called back with the phantom call against Gabe Jackson, man. But that's the game that I knew that Derek Carr was the real deal, man. He was the real deal, and I definitely think that this is a game that him and Gruden, they want to prove to the NFL that, you know what, we are legit. We are back as a team. The Raiders are back. And you know what? This is the perfect opportunity to do it. Now, Trent Brown messed it all up, but luckily our offensive line, they will be playing today. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, let's look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense, man. They are stout, man. It's they're first against the number one in defense versus the yard, or as far as yards allowed. Number one as far as rushing yards allowed. Number 6 as far as passing yards around. And number 8 as far as points per game, man. So this is going to be a tough game to play, man. But you know what? Derek Carr, he's good against the blitz, right? And the Bucs like to blitz. So maybe we can, if we can get a couple of scores early in the game because they're blitzing, we can get them out of that blitz, and then we can play our game, which is run the ball, control the clock, and Josh Jacobs then can step up and control the game and contribute into a win, So we'll see. Of course, our defense not looking too good. We are 24th in yards per game. We are 21st in rushing yards, 25th in passing yards, and 27th in points per game. Now, look, man, we did great in the second half versus the Chiefs. If we can do that for all 4 quarters in this game, we got it. I think we can get it. But at the same time, man, that's a big if. That's a big if with Jonathan Abram out. But hey, we got Irvin coming in, so I'm excited to see what he can do. Malik Collins really hasn't shown up. Hurst is coming back. That's a big plus. And then Mad Max Crosby, man. This is your game, brother. This is your game, Mad Max. I love to see Mad Max sack, Brady about 2 or 3 times. And let's get a pick 6. Let's force a fumble and return it for a touchdown. Something on special teams. I've been calling that for the last couple of weeks, man. Let's do it. It can't be all on the offense, man. We need our players on all 3 phases to step up and make plays. Let's do it. But yeah, this is a big game, y'all. Big game, man. Of course, if we fall, we go to 3-3, 500. We'll probably most likely be in second place still, because Denver is 2-3 and the Chargers are 1-4. So most likely we will still be in second place if we fall today. But if we win, just one game closer to that playoff run. I called 10-6 at the beginning of the year. It looks like we're on pace to get that, man. It's very much possible. And if our defense could play consistently like they did against the Chiefs in the second half, hey, man, we could do more. We can win. We can go 11-5, 12-4. But it all depends. It all depends, man, on this game right here. This is a big big game right here in our house. The NFL didn't do us any favors. They made it even harder for us. But hey, if we can come out with the win, they'll know. They'll know that the Raiders are back. All right, cool. So this show, Talking Raider Shield, he was down and out, man. So we don't have 3 keys to victory segment this week. But we got a good long behind enemy lines, and then we got a good long fucking Raider Nation perspective. And we're gonna hear from Mooky Bucs. He's a cool guy. He's staying in Vegas right now. He's as you'll hear, he was helping working with Masquerader, trying to do some things like that out there. So let's go ahead and get to all that. And shout out to the chat line, Raider MC Square, man. Thanks for showing up, bro. I appreciate it, man. Share the video if you don't mind. All right, here we go. We're gonna go with Behind Enemy Lines. All right, Raider Nation, here we go. Behind Enemy Lines with Mooky Bucs, right in the heart of Las Vegas. How you doing, Mooky Bucs? Thanks for coming on the Raider Homer channel.
Thank you for having me, Raider Homer. I appreciate it very much. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, man, I'm excited to have you. It's a big game today, man. We have to beat those Bucs, so hopefully we can get it done because y'all are looking hot after that Green Bay game.
Well, it's a vice versa and a mutual feeling. I mean, you guys came off of a great win, beating the Super Bowl champs, division rivals. I mean, you guys got to be feeling really good coming into this game. I think it's going to be what you just said, a really close game and one to remember for your guys' inaugural season.
Oh yeah, especially if we get out of there with the W. Ha ha.
I love it.
Cool.
I love it.
Well, I love it too. Hey, so on the Raider Homer channel, man, we love to find out how people became fans and how they became super fans and why they wanted to become a super fan. So let's go ahead and start there. How did you become a Buccaneers fan?
Oh, I'm actually from the San Francisco Bay Area. I grew up in Fairfield, Vacaville, Sassoon area. I lived there for about 10 to 12 years, and then the family took the move over here to Las Vegas. 35 years old now, so I've been out here for about 25 years, so this is basically home now. When I did get here, though, I jumped into playing Pop Warner football. Was on the defensive squad. My whole family tried to grow me up as Raiders and 49er fans, and unfortunately, me playing defense out here and the defense that the Bucs had and the logo change and just everything, I was like, it's a time for a new change and being out here in Vegas. So I'm going to choose a new football team and kind of go against the family. And, you jump on a little bit of a hot bandwagon, obviously, and I rode it out ever since. They became my favorite sports franchise. My actual first sporting event was a Oakland A's game in the morning and a Warriors game at night, which I'm still, fans of those teams, but my heart belongs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as far as my sports goes. So, that's kind of how I became a Bucs fan.
Well, that's awesome, dude. Hats off to you, man. I mean, the Bucs are kind of like the Raiders. They haven't enjoyed a lot of success since the early 2000s. So, man, hats off to you for sticking with the team.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's and like you said, the success has not been there. So, and that kind of leads into how I became a super fan because I don't like to watch games, alone or by myself on game day. So, living out here, I got hooked up with a fan group out called the Buckaholics. They ran a couple chapters throughout the country. And, they asked me to help them out and help a couple other guys run the chapter. And here we are. We've got about 200 fans here locally that are Bucs fans in Nevada. And so I started getting people together, man, and, traveling back and forth to Tampa and meeting the super fans out there and whatnot and getting really close with them. And before we knew it, you have the organization asking you to do some things for them outside of Tampa. And it's just all about getting people together, having fun and watching games together, whether you're with the other team, the opposing team, or here locally,
Absolutely. I have a Black Hole chapter here in Austin, and it's about watching the game together, building a family, building friendships, and cheering on the team. And that's awesome that the team reached out to you. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's fun, just to have a fan base outside of Tampa like yourself, like you were just saying, that they share the love, that they get excited to see the West Coast, fan base all the way from across country is as strong as it is. And the charity events, you get behind the charity events, and that's what makes you really become the super fan. I feel like as well, just getting out there in the community, donating to your charities. Right now, the Buckaholics are working with Wounded Warriors this year, so just stuff like that, and that's getting with other teams. We're supposed to hook up with Miss Patty Masquerade this weekend, but with the Corona and all that, it just didn't work out. But doing stuff like that is what it's all about.
That's awesome. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, the Austin, Texas chapter of the Black Hole, we raised money in August for the Texas Pit Crew, and we just had our inaugural costume drive for Costume Connections, man. Coming into this quote unquote scene, the superfan scene, I've learned a lot from the veterans like Mob Boss and Wayne, the Violator, and they were talking a lot about giving back to your community and the importance of repping the Raider Nation with pride and poise and a commitment to excellence. And that's great that y'all are doing good things for y'all's community.
Yep. Yeah. And like you said, you just, it really sucked because, like I said, I was talking to Patty out here locally for a little bit, and we wanted to try to get a charity softball event going, where it was like a Bucs versus the Raiders, and we would have got together today and did something at a park, but it just didn't work out with everything. And but later on, and there's next year, and there's always we're always going to be around, and the unity and the togetherness of all this is like you said, the super fans is what it's all about. So making a change.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I was talking to Patty last night. We did the Masquerader reading room, and she was talking about that softball game, and she was hopeful for it. But yeah, with COVID, it makes it hard for anybody to do anything. So that's cool. I'm glad that you know Patty, because yeah, she is a legacy member of the Raider Nation as far as super fans. So man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome that you're working with her out there.
Yeah. So that's just what it's all about, man. And hopefully one day, next time you're in Vegas, please give me a shout. I'll be love to come out and share a beer with you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's get into the game. It got rescheduled due to Trent Brown, of course, testing positive for COVID. So they bumped us down to the mid-afternoon game. Well, I guess it's the early game for y'all, but for us, it's a mid-afternoon game. So, y'all are coming in hot. As I said earlier, y'all took it to the Packers, man. Nobody expected that. Y'all's defense really stepped up. I mean, so if I'm looking at the numbers right now, y'all are first in overall defense as far as yards per game, first in rushing yards, sixth in passing yards, and eighth in points per game. Man, that is scary if you're a Raider fan, especially with two offensive linemen not going to be there as well. On the offensive side, y'all are 20th in yards per game, 20th in rushing yards, 17th in passing, and 8th in points per game. But we're going to be missing Jonathan Abram, man. So, man, what is going on? How are we going to overcome this? In my mind, but what would be y'all's game plan as far as defense and offense?
I'll be honest with you, Homer. At the beginning of the year, when everybody was talking about, oh, you guys got Brady, you guys got Gronk, and as we talked earlier, these long, hard seasons and losing seasons of watching these ups and downs, and I told people, I'm like, just please do me a favor and watch this young defense emerge and what they're gonna do. And I thank God because they didn't make me eat my foot, and they're really, really showing out, and that's what I'm super excited about for my team. You'll see Tom Brady's Tom Brady. He's going to make the offense work. He's got all the weapons around him, obviously. I really was scared about my offensive line coming into this season. We didn't make too many changes to it, and Winston with all his interceptions last year, and it seemed like he was kind of running for his life at times. That scared me a lot, but it seems like the offensive line is holding up for the old man Brady, and but I'm just so excited about my defense, and they really showed last week against Aaron Rodgers. You got a lead quarterback like that, and I have a 14-year-old son who's deep into football right now, and we were at the watch party last week, and he told everybody in a dead moment of a silence, he goes, man, you guys see this guy? These guys, our defense has got Aaron Rodgers out here running like Carson Wentz for his life.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I mean, and he was right. Aaron Rodgers was on his ass all day. So I'm just really excited about the defense, and I hate to throw this little jab, but I mean that's what won us our Super Bowl against you guys. So
Oh God.
you
Oh.
know, we know we know it wasn't our 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 our, uh, our offense was there, but Brad Johnson, he was just that playbook quarterback. He wasn't nothing special, so it was
Well,
that
and then y'all
defense.
also had John Gruden, so that didn't help us. That definitely helped y'all. But now we
Yeah.
got Gruden. And speaking of Gruden, he was praising y'all's linebackers, man. So he was starting with let's start with Devontae Adams, correct? So let's go with him. And
Oh,
who else?
Levante
Oh,
David.
excuse
Yes,
me,
sir.
Levante David. Okay, thank you for the
No problem.
correction. So
Nope.
who else though on that linebacking core should we be worried about?
So we got the young guy, the second year vet, and Devin White, aka Get Live, baby. That guy is he's two steps behind Levante David, and Levante David is he's the most underrated linebacker. I'm not being biased to my team, but the guy, my son's favorite linebacker is J.J. Watts. If that tells you anything. But he's a diehard Bucs fan, so. But just to talk back to Levante David, he's an amazing sideline to sideline linebacker, and he's there in every single play. So the veteran leadership in him, and then Devin White there, and it's exciting that first front line though. I mean, we lost Vita Vea, and we just went out and got McLean there from the Jets, so he will be starting. So that'll be a nice little 11-year veteran. Filler in for Vita Vea. So, like I said, the defense is what's exciting, and you got those outside corners, man. Young secondary, and my favorite draft pick for 2020 was Antoine Winfield. Good old the Hall of Famer Winfield himself. We've got his son playing for us in our backfield, and he's a big part of those numbers that you were reading off earlier.
Cool. So who's the heavy hitter in y'all on y'all's defense?
It's gonna be Devin White. That guy is young, and he's that rookie is he's popping heads, man. He's everywhere. And then you can't forget about good old Shaq Barrett. Led the league in sacks last year. He hasn't done too much this year. Haven't heard his name very much. So you could see a game. You could see him. This could be a game where you could see him. Kind of rise and shine a little bit. So.
Cool, cool. And of course, y'all got Gronk and Brady. And if everybody's picking y'all to go to the Super Bowl, seems like y'all's team's coming together. But so Mike Evans. Other than that, who on offense should we be worried about?
It's funny you asked that. We gotta I feel like they're gonna start targeting Cameron Brate. He's our tight end. Obviously there's no question about Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but everybody's talking about Antonio Brown signing the last 24 hours. Obviously, you guys had your little run and your stint with him. I'm
Yeah,
not
good luck with
excited
that.
about him. Yeah, I'm not excited about it. I'm not gonna lie. He's gonna be able to take a little bit of coverage off of Evans and Godwin, but I kind of feel, which is a little scary. When we were out last night on the strip walking, and one of the other members of the group, he mentioned to me, he goes, I kind of have a small feeling and little hint that Evans or Godwin might be a little have some injury. That's another good reason why we, undisclosed little injury. Maybe not Godwin not ready to come back yet, and maybe that's why we went after Antonio Brown. But Scotty Miller is another slot guy that could be found by Tom Brady any game now. So. I'll be honest with you, Homer. I've been really watching my defense because I'm so excited about it. There's a lot of pieces that everybody knows about it, obviously, in Gronk and Evans on the offense and what Brady can do. His noodle arm is still alive. There's no noodle arm in Brady, obviously, right now. So like I said, I'm super stoked about the defense. That's what made me become a fan of this team. So to see what they're doing now and bringing the remembrance of their Super Bowl run, this is some nice little stints of it. So.
Sorry, I was just throwing up in my mouth, man. Hey,
Oh.
the one thing about Antonio Brown, though, man, I think he has to wait 5 days. He has to come in and do the COVID testing and test positive or negative for so many days or whatever. So he may not see the field, but I mean, I'm not quite sure. I'm not 100%
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, they're saying actually they're saying week 9 against the Saints is
Oh,
his
okay.
target date.
Okay.
So
Cool.
which would be good because that was our first game and our first loss of the season. So
Yeah.
and division rival. So we'll be looking for that revenge, obviously.
Right. And so, like I said earlier, we're going to be missing Jonathan Abram, who is our star defender in the secondary. So we'll have Jeff Heath step in there. He can play well, though. He got that interception on Patrick Mahomes last week, and that kind of sealed the deal for us, especially when he run it back almost to the one.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody, we got to have this next man up mentality. Of course, our defense has been inconsistent, but at the same time, we do have some decent defenders on the edge as far as pass rushers. I expect Mad Max Crosby to show up today and put Tom Brady to the ground. We got to get him and get him to the ground.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Mo Hurst will definitely disrupt the middle of that line for y'all. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, Kwiatkowski, he is a thumper, man. So I'm expecting him to show up. He has to have a big game. But yeah, then Trayvon Mullins versus Mike Evans is probably the most interesting matchup in the game. And then and of course, Gronk and Littleton. And Littleton. So, I mean, it should be a pretty good game. If our defense can show up and be consistent and play like we did against the Chiefs in the second half, we got a shot at this game still, even though we're going to be missing Abrams. But man, I'm expecting a hell of a game, and yeah, we got to get revenge for that Super Bowl every time we play y'all. You know what I mean? Until we get the Super Bowl. Now with Gruden back, I feel like if he can get a Super Bowl for us, that will kind of erase the pain in my heart from that last Super Bowl. Because I mean, I loved John Gruden back then, and watching him run up and down that sideline, pumping his fists and
Oh
this and
man.
that. Oh my God, I was dying, man. I was dying.
There's not a
But
lot. There's not another coach with that much excitement. I would even say in the league as of right now. Still, I mean, to this day, the guy he just brings so much intensity and so much life to your team. He's
oh
he's
yeah,
real.
oh yeah.
He's a great coach. I've got. I don't want to mess up the camera, but I've got him standing right here. He's there.
Nice,
he,
man. Nice.
he's just bucked out.
Yeah, I gotta say, dude, that Buccaneer room or that man cave back there, it looks pretty cool, man. Well, that's a
I
nice little
appreciate it.
man cave. You gotta got my man cave going on with my autographed Bo Jackson jersey. I got an autographed Derek Carr jersey. Shout out to Demon King. Thanks for that, brother. I got
Right on.
a helmet from 2016 that was autographed by some of the players that were on that team when I went and volunteered for Michael Crabtree's football camp. So yeah, I'm working on my Raider room, man. And that's a nice little Buccaneers room you got back there. Okay, back to the
Appreciate
offense. Let
it.
me touch on our offense real quick. I think that since y'all are so stout against the run, we are gonna have to have a hell of a game going as far as passing. That's y'all. That's about y'all's weakness, even though it's only like y'all are 6, and passing. But we got to hit those short yardage passes and then break tackles, and get the yak yards and score touchdowns. And keep the ball basically away from Tom Brady. But against y'all's defense, man, it's gonna be a hell of a time to do that. But that's what we do. You understand Gruden ball. He loves to run that rock and
Yep.
throw that ball short, safe passes, and make something happen after the ball is caught.
100%, 100%. I'm actually really excited to see. I think Derek Carr will really this will really show where he's at as a quarterback. He coming off of his injuries here and there last year or so and whatnot, but I think he's ready to really show that he's a starting elite quarterback and can lead your guys' team. He has the potential, that's for sure. So I think this will be a good test for him, and I'm really excited to see what he's gonna do.
Well, that's cool, man. I appreciate you showing respect to Derek Carr. Sometimes the Raider Nation gets on his ass, man. But so let me ask you a quick question. Tom Brady's not gonna be around forever. Once Derek Carr's no longer a Raider, would you like to have him as a Bucs quarterback?
I'll be completely honest with you. I want to see my team go younger and build with a younger quarterback. And I mean, I've watched them draft a couple quarterbacks late rounds these last couple years. So if we can have Tom Brady here for next couple years, even if it's 3, I know that's pushing it, including this year. But if we can bring someone in behind him that's young and can learn some from him for 2 years, that's my ultimate goal to set us up for the future. I'm not the coach or the GM, so I'm just a super fan, but that's where my mentality is for the future of my team, to be honest with you.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, I was just saying because in my mind, there's some Raider fans that are upset with Derek Carr still. But there's a lot of people like Hondo Carpenter comes in. He's talked to GMs from around the league that say if Derek Carr is not a Raider, he'll be signed the next day. So that's kind of where I was going with that question.
I
But
got you.
hey, let's
I
go
got
ahead and
you.
talk a little bit about Elite Superfans. How long have you been a member of the Elite Superfans?
So I'm pretty sure I was one of the top 100, 150 members to help get that going and spreading the love and then showing them. So I've been around since day one of them going, and I absolutely love what they're doing with the anti-bullying. I wish I can somewhat participate and get involved a little bit more. But things with the season and things getting rolling here. I was actually planning a huge draft party for 2020, so had to cancel that obviously. And then now planning this weekend against you guys. I honestly have over 200 fans in town from across the country here in town today. And we're all going to be, watching the game. We're over at Oyo Hotel and Casino. We rented the facility out basically, and so, and that's just part of being the Elite Super Fans and what the Buckaholics do. The fan page that I'm from, we're outside of Tampa fan group that gets fans together. So, to be an Elite Super Fan and part of that group, and then get to meet people like yourself and other fans from other teams. Man, that I can't appreciate ESF and the Elite Super Fans fan page more than anything, because you and I probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, shout out to Tiffany, aka Harley
For
Bill. She's the
sure.
one that set us up. She's been helping me line up
Yep.
guests to come on behind enemy lines for the Raider Homers pregame show. And then, of course, as y'all have seen, we're going to be doing an Elite Superfan show with Fred Kilmartin. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, keep an eye out. I'd love to have you on there too, Mookie Bucks. You obviously got it going on, man. It'd be great to have you as a guest on that show.
Anytime, I appreciate the love, and like I said, I can't thank you enough for bringing me on. I look forward to doing more. If you guys need to hook up with any other fans and run through the circle and connecting with people and whatnot, reach out by all means. And like I said, I hope to actually share a beer with you and have some live conversation one-on-one here in town.
All right, cool. So, give us a score, your prediction on the way out.
So I'm, I got to rock my Bucs, of course. I'm sure you hear that every week behind enemy lines.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and go with a 34-21. Bucs on top. I think you guys will have a defensive touchdown, and you get Josh Jacobs in there within the red zone. And I couldn't tell you where your third touchdown will come from, but like I said, I'm gonna like to see my defense erupt. I think you'll unfortunately, I hate to tell you this, Homer, but you guys are gonna feel that defense again.
Oh man, well, if we do feel that defense, I'll give you two predictions. If that's the case, then I would expect us to lose like 21-7 or 24-17, something around those lines. But if we win, it's going to be a squeaker. It'll be something like 27-21, something like that, 27-24. But yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Raider Nation, if we do lose, man, we're 3-3. Don't panic. Don't start calling into Raider Nation radio and bitching, because they are a good team. We're playing some good teams now. We have been. And it's not going to get any easier. From that, other teams are starting to wake up too. The Browns next week, yada, yada, yada. So, but let's hopefully we can get this one. But anyways, Mookie, I appreciate you coming on the Raider Homer channel.
I appreciate you having me, my man. And again, I look forward to catching up with you again. And go Elite Super Fans. Good luck to your guys' Raiders. And I appreciate the hospitality and love and bringing me on.
No problem, brother. And tell the Raider Nation how they can find you, and Elite Super Fans how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so go ahead and find me, Mooky Bucks Mike Tiss. I'm all over Elite Super Fans and/or Buckaholics. I'm a local Nevada guy, so if you guys ever see me out here, any of you local Las Vegas Raider fans, please don't hesitate to say hi. super friendly, and I love the chalk football. So I'm excited to meet you guys. And again, thank you, Raider. I appreciate the hospitality. And again, good luck to you guys tomorrow. It's going to be a great game, like you said.
Well, I appreciate it. And likewise, man. And thanks for coming on the Raider Homer channel.
I appreciate you.
Likewise. All right, Raider Nation. Shout out to Mooky Bucs, man. Appreciate it. Y'all find him, show him some support. He's there in Vegas. You know, he's working with Masquerader, as you heard. So, you know what? It's all about, you know, yeah, we can hate the team. Let's just not hate the fans. Let's build that camaraderie between each fan base. That way, you know, when we travel, man, we have somebody there that we can hang out with and all that, other than just the Raider fans. It's all about building camaraderie and unity, man. So, I like, you know, I like interviewing super fans from other teams, man. It's fun. It's fun to expand my horizons. Of course, I always love repping the Raider Nation, and we always repping the Raider Nation here. But hey, you know, there's other teams out there that are doing good things too. You heard him. You talking about doing, you know, community services and charities and things like that, man. It's a whole giant world out there, football fans. So I'm excited to bring them to you here on the Raider Homer channel. All right, Damage Incorporated, Raider Nation Scotland, Raider Nation worldwide in here, man. I appreciate you listening to the Only Nation podcast with Kevlar Prom Dress, a.k.a. Or Heidi Stafford, a.k.a. Kevlar Prom Dress. I always mix that up. T3, RaiderFax, and myself. You know, we're always working hard to bring y'all some good content. So thanks for tuning in. All right, we got T3 in here. We got, let's see, the Only Nation podcast is in here. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody. Raider MC Squared was in here. Hopefully he's still around. Yeah, brother, man. Come on down to the South Austin Beer Garden. Watch the game with me, man. We got some original members from the SBCT coming in. We got people that were there before the Black Hole showed up at the South Austin Beer Garden, man. We're slowly but surely growing the official chapter of the Black Hole here in Austin, Texas. So, you know, we're looking to do good things. We're looking to do a lot more charity work. We raised money for Texas Pit Crew. We helped out Costume Connections, man. We got a food drive coming up. We got a toy drive coming up. You know, it's all about doing good things in the community and representing the Raider Nation with pride and poise and a commitment to excellence. Whew. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get going to our Raider Nation perspective with Captain Jack Rackham. Oh, man, this dude, talk about passion. This guy's all about passion. Okay, Raider Nation, it's time for the Raider Nation perspective with the salty dog himself, Captain Jack. Thanks for coming back. Oh, man, how you doing?
I'm salty as piss and vinegar and all the other stuff that makes you salty.
Hey, and today we play the Bucs and Tampon Bay, man. I know you hate the Bucs. So, man, what do we got to do to beat the Bucs?
First off, I gotta stop you there, Homer. I don't hate the Bucs. I hate, loathe, abhor, and despise the Bucs. Get it right.
Oh, please forgive me, Captain. Don't make me walk the plank, okay?
Damn right. I'll let you go with one.
All right, cool. You're merciful. I appreciate that.
There you go.
So again, you know, all this shit's going down. You know, you came on live the other day. You were pissed about the NFL dropping our game down to the day game when we're missing players. You know, everybody else gets this special treatment. We do not. But here we are, right? Everybody talks about next man up when it comes to these injuries. So, I mean, the whole team has to step up now, right? Because we're missing Abram. Of course, Trent Brown again. I don't even think he's really on the team. Richie Incognito's not going to be able to play. I mean, damn, what do we have to do?
Well, getting back to my non-gravelly voice, because that would even be hard for me to do through an entire interview. It basically amounts to this, okay? The Raiders, providing that everybody passed their protocol today on the offensive line, they would have their regular, I would say the regular, in air quotes, offensive line that they've been playing with for the majority of this year. Good would be playing left guard since Richie is not there, and Sam Young would be playing the right tackle thing. Now, as long as Sam Young remains, healthy, because again, Brown went out in the Panthers, and like about 3 minutes later, it seemed like Sam Young went out. So we had Denzel Good, who played a remarkable game at right tackle and several remarkable games at right tackle. And again as a guard.
Right.
So that was fantastic. Sam Young is able to play, and Good comes in at left guard. I mean, yeah, there's a bit of a drop off between Trent Brown and Sam Young, but and again, I hate saying it, but you said it yourself. Doesn't really seem like Trent Brown's been playing at all this year, and when he has been playing, it's been he had one game, and it was the last game against the Chiefs, and he played well. But you know what? For $12 million or so a year for playing one game and like 3 minutes of another game, you know what? Good riddance. I firmly believe that the Raiders will be doing another person at right tackle next year because the guy is definitely not worth his money. After this year, the Raiders owe nothing to him. He could be gone. That's an entire savings of what that salary is. And if Trent Brown, and I don't know if he is or not, because there's conjecture that he's really not in the game. He's really not with the Raiders. I don't know. But if the locker room knows and Gruden knows, he is gone. And they will have another tackle next year, somebody who wants to be there. And you know what? I'd rather play with somebody who wants to play for the silver and black, for the pirate and the shield, than some asshole that's just taking money on paychecks.
Well, if let's say it cost us some draft picks or whatnot, this last incident that he's responsible for as far as COVID, then we could probably cut him with reasonable cause, right? And then not have to pay him due to the same reasonable cause because he cost the team, conduct detrimental to the team. So that would be a reasonable cause to not have to pay him if we went to the Players Association, right?
That's all lawyers speak. That's all stuff that's way above my level. Once you start talking about, well, if we did this and the NFL Players Association does that, and if we do this, that, and the other thing, you're talking about a bunch of lawyers who are not my favorite people in the world. And I know maybe one or two that are actually worth a spit. But, hey, if you're a good lawyer, then show me yourself, because I don't know what one exists. Okay. Actually, no, I take it back. I got one, because they're the ones that gave me some money post mom's funeral. But that's it. But again, lawyers, especially lawyers for professional athletes, and then the players union that they represent, are a large pain in the ass. So hopefully the Raiders will be able to get back some of the collateral that they might be losing, because this schmuck doesn't want to wear a transponder because he feels like he doesn't need to. You know what? Nobody is above the team. Nobody.
Amen to that. All right, so we're kind of fired up about this whole incident that happened that really is fucking up the whole thing, right? Let's just be honest. But let's kind of get back on track here. The Bucs defense ranked first in yards per game, ranked first in rushing yards, ranked 6th in passing yards, and 8th in points per game. Man, it's gonna be a tough battle for this offense, even though we have a solid offense. I'm expecting us to take the short route or the short passes and make those. Try to keep our team on the field as much as possible and keep Tom Brady off on the sideline. But then again, that whoa, that's two. Who? Oh my God, I'm gonna be walking the plank here pretty soon. Who? This guy that we won't mention by name, we want to keep him on the sideline. So,
the bastard that plays quarterback for the other team. There you go. That's what I know.
Okay. So I'm expecting the intermediate pass game, but then we got to get the plays made after we get the ball. Ruggs, the yak yards. He was real good at that in college. Do you see that happening?
Well, here's the thing, and I've done a bit of a podcast with one of the local Tampon Bays guys that are actually cool, and we were talking about it. They themselves said it's going to be hard to run on the Bucs defense. I agree with that, but you know what? In the olden days of Gruden's offense, the short passing game to the running backs, when it was Charlie Garner, it was like a quick handoff. Yeah. As long as you can do that effectively and make about 3 yards a pop minimum, then that's how you quote unquote run on the Bucs defense. The short passing game over the middle. Okay. That's what your tight ends are for. And you know what? Waller is more than a tight end, but this is going to be a big game in my estimation for people like a Witten, okay, or Carrier or Foster Moreau. These guys are good at that short to intermediate passing range. And then you have like zip passes to all of the speedsters. We saw last week how if when Renfro gets into that one seam area in front of the deep backs, but over the linebackers,
yes,
that's good as gold. The Bucs can be passed on, and as long as you don't throw those stupid pick sixes like a friggin' Aaron Rodgers, who had probably more on his mind for the friggin' commercials he's doing with State Farm, or Allstate, whatever the hell it is. I don't really care. The guy's got more money than God, but he's doing these commercials. As long as you do the passing game effectively, you're going to have to run, though. You can't always pass. I think the only time that we had a game plan where we were practically passing every game was when we beat the Steelers on either a Sunday night or a Monday night when Gannon was there under this Gruden system. Okay, that's not the norm. But if that's what it takes to win, do whatever it takes to win. But the Raiders offense is going to have to score. Just like I've been saying in all these hard games, they cannot afford to leave points off the board. Minimum drives with points being 3 every time. Okay, maybe twice you punt. But if you don't get points every drive, you're killing yourself, because this is a game where the Bucs defense is going to be up for it. The Raiders are going to have to score in the 30s, and the Raiders defense is going to have to stop that bastard and the other guys on the other side. And that needs to be done.
Yeah, like I was saying a minute ago, the intermediate passing games. But yes, then coming out of the backfield, those quick handoff or the passing, the captain check down, essentially, right? That's what we're going to be leaning on in this game. And that's important. Yeah, Josh Jacobs has to have a really good game. And again, it's going to be hard to run, but that coming out of the backfield, that's going to be the key, right? That's what you're saying. So, and then, yes,
and you know what? If you take one over the top, if it's available, do it. If it's available, do it.
Well, they know that we can do that now. So I don't know if we're gonna have the time, man, because the Bucs like to blitz, and they blitz, linebackers, cornerbacks, and then they got Ndamukong Suh in the middle. They got some good pass rushers, So I don't think we're gonna have a lot of time to take shots. We're gonna need to pick the right time to do it, and hopefully everything works out. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough game facing this defense. Now their offense is ranked 20th in yards per game, 20th in rushing yards, 17th in passing yards, and 8th in points per game. So our defense is a little inconsistent, and now thanks to Trent Brown, we're going to be missing Jonathan Abrams. But Heath, he seems to be a pretty good backup. And this year our backups have come in and played well. We have the depth to compete in this game, and that's why I think we can compete in this game. But as far as our defense, man, we got to play 4 quarters, right? And we got to get some kind of points on the defense, right? Our defense has to score in this game if we're going to try to win, right? Get that momentum,
or at least get the turnovers to set up a short field. But yes, I agree. The defense is going to need to be either a pick 6, a fumble recovery for 6, or at least a couple turnovers, which gives us a short field and a quick score for the offense. And when they do that, you better be scoring 6. When you get the opportunity for a short field, you better be scoring 6 points, because otherwise it's just, it's only 3, and we got to avoid that mentality when that bastard on the other sideline says, well, okay, I screwed up, but they only scored 3. So I'm going to go out and get a touchdown on the next series. You better make it 6 if you get that defense working the way they should.
Well, now you said 30 points, that we're going to have to score 30 points. I'm not quite sure we can do that against this defense, but at the same time.
Well, you know what? I think we can, okay? What did the Bears score when they scored on the Bucs? What was the final score?
Let me look real quick.
They scored at least 20.
2019.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we can
And
keep
the Bears do not have the defense, or sorry, no, I'm sorry. The Bears do not have an offense like we do. If they can put 20 on the Bucs, there's no reason why we can't put an extra touchdown and an extra field goal for 30 on that defense. Now, granted, the Buccaneers that game had a crappy game. They had a lot of penalties. They had a lot of things go wrong for them. And then the very next game, okay, against the Packers, they had no penalties. They had no sacks given up. And they had another stat, which had never been done, basically a perfect game all the way around. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But the offense of the Raiders has got to keep them out. They got to keep Carr clean. And if Carr's getting rushed out, he better run or he better find the open receiver. We saw what Mahomes did when he's eluding the sack. Granted, aside from that one pick that he had, which was brought back to like the 3-yard line or so, an elusive quarterback, and Carr is and can be an elusive quarterback, can do that. If you do that with that bastard, I almost said his name. If you get that bastard rolling out, he's going to get sacked. Okay. And you know what, by the way, defense, sack his ass and take him down and make him hurt.
Yes, sir. Ooh, you getting me fired up here, Captain. Back to Derek Carr, man. He cannot fumble the ball under pressure.
No.
He cannot throw interceptions. This is a game where he has to be perfect. Yes, and like I was saying earlier, this is also a chance, or like I was trying to get to earlier, this is also a chance for our defense to play consistently 4 quarters because they stopped that Chief offense. And, in the second half, this is a chance for us to show the league that we can be that Chicago Bear type defense, that Tampa Bay Buccaneer type defense. If our defense can wake up, man, that would be great. We'll have a great shot at making a run in the playoffs. But it starts here, I think. And it definitely started last week, but that was in the second half. But, I mean, consistently, all 4 quarters. And, yeah, we want to get into a punch-out, with these guys on defense and keep that score low. That's how I'm thinking this. The only way we can win, is if we keep that score low. Because, again, yes, we do have a powerful offense, but at the same time, a lot of it is going to be wearing down that Bucs defense. We want to make – you're talking about 3 yards per catch out of the backfield, something like that, minimum. I'm talking, we have a great ability to control the clock. That's where we're going to win this year, or this game, is controlling that clock, man. Keeping that defense on the field, getting them worn out, and then hopefully in the fourth quarter, we score, 10 points to kind of just put the game away. That's how I'm hoping things work out in this game.
Oh, I agree. And sorry, I had I am in for a particular person I needed to get back at. But I tell you, we need to score. We need to keep them from scoring as much as possible. And like I said, that bastard is a statue. Get him upset. Get him pissed off. Get him off his keel. Because when he is not comfortable back there, he makes a lot of mistakes and he gets pissy because he's a pissy prima donna. Okay, yeah. Do that. This has to be a near perfect game. Okay, a near perfect game, and we almost had that last week against those damn ketchup and mustard players that play in misery. Okay,
Ronald McDonald and the Kool-Aid Man squad.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so look, man, Gruden back in 2003 broke the Raider Nation's heart. How hungry do you think he is to, get his revenge against the Bucs, or to show at least get the revenge for the Raider Nation against the Bucs with him at the coaching helm?
Well, this game has been circled and X'd and starred and magic markered for years, at least when it came out on the schedule. We knew it was coming. Gruden knew that the Buccaneers were coming. So he's had this game in his mind for a while, okay? But then when they knew exactly where it was, that's what was important for him. There is nothing more important for the Raiders and John Gruden than to do something positive with this game, especially in the land of COVID.
Yeah. And Trent Brown definitely made it a little harder on him. But, he's a great coach. He can scheme it up and get our team motivated to beat these guys. And I believe that's the key right there. That's the key, is Gruden being able to motivate this team and keeping them positive. and breaking down film, showing these guys what it's really going to take, and I'm hoping that works out. But it's going to be tough, and I have us down basically as a loss on this one, Cap. I got to be honest, man. I know that might piss you off, and this might be my third strike, and I might be walking the plank here, but
no. I mean, here's the thing. I would feel a lot better about this game had that schmuck at right tackle kept his friggin' transponder on and other things and not be a me for this team. Okay. And you know what? If I'm wrong about Trent Brown, I will immediately apologize. But until I see or hear otherwise, I'm really pissed off. And the kid's a Florida Gator. That's my alma mater. Okay. So that makes me double pissed off that I got to be pissed off at a Raider and a Gator that has his head up his ass.
Man, I can tell you're pissed off. You've been pissed off about this for a week pretty much. But today, here we go. It's time to put this shit to rest, right? The NFL is not going to do us any favors. This is a must win, right?
For sure. The Raiders need to get out of here at 4-2. I mean, yeah, can things be okay at 3-3? Sure. But it's going to leave a bad taste in the mouth of this team if they don't get a good, decisive victory over that team and that bastard on the other sideline.
All right, well, cool. So before we get out of here, give us a score. What's your prediction?
I never do scores. I really don't. I don't. I just say, as long as we have one more fucking point than they do, we win. And that's what it comes down to. If the score is 2-0 and we win on a safety, that's all I care about. Okay? I'm just saying that the offense needs to be deliberate. It needs to score. It can't leave opportunities off the board. And the defense needs to come together and to put that statue on his ass repeatedly, get in his face, get him pissed off like a certain ex-Raider named 50 Who did a couple weeks ago because he was pissed off at him. Okay? Do it. That's what I want to see. And you know what? If I don't see it, put me in a fucking uniform and I'll get after the motherfucker.
Hey, you got my vote, Captain. You got my vote. So Max Crosby, this is his game then, right? On defense. He has to show up, man. He's been pretty good. I think he's got 4 sacks this year. He's been putting pressure on the quarterback, but yeah, we need him to step up and put who on his back. So yeah. In Las Vegas, this is a must win. Captain doesn't want to give us a score out of here. I'll give us a couple of scores. I think it's going to be a tough one. We may lose this one. It'll be 24-17 if we lose. But if we win, it's going to be something like 27-14, something around there. It's going to be a tough game. And I'm hoping our defense shows up and steps up to the plate and tries to play as well, if not better, than this Bucs defense that everybody's talking about.
You got it, for sure.
All right, Cap. Well, thanks for coming on the Raider Homer channel. But before I let you go, tell the Raider Nation where they can find you on social media.
Well, obviously, and again, apologies for me swearing there, Homer. I like I said, I live here in Tampa, and there is nothing that bothers me more than when we play the Buccaneers and we lose to the Buccaneers. I remember when a couple years ago when Martin ran for like 250 on us in Oakland. I remember when Cole Ford lost in a chip shot field goal here in Tampa. But that's it. The Raiders are 7-2 against the Buccaneers in the regular season. I know we're 7-3, but that's notwithstanding.
Yeah, let's not talk about that third loss.
Right. But the Raiders need to take this game and just run it or pass it down the throats of that team. I want to see a good, hard-fought victory.
Yes, sir. And so, yeah, but tell the Raider Nation.
I'm so.
He's fired up today, y'all.
Captain Jack Rackham Levy on YouTube, and then various iterations on Twitter. Captain Jack Rackham. The Twitter is CAPT is to spell Captain. IG is captain.jack.rack.em. Again, YouTube, I appreciate you watching me on YouTube and calling into my shows. Obviously, Captain Jack Rackham on Facebook. And I'm even Captain Jack Rackham at some iteration over on LinkedIn. You can find me. Just look at my name. And if you can't find the name, call me up and I'll show you where I am.
All right, Cap. Thanks for coming on the Raider Homer channel. I appreciate it. All right, Raider Nation, man, are you pumped up? Man, Captain Jack has me pumped up, man. Man, we want to see that victory. Oh man, let's go. If we have to, we'll put him in at right tackle. He said he's ready to go. Woo! All right, shout out to the chat line. Damage Incorporated, Raider Nation still here. T3 Sports Guy. Hey, I got a special. He's on the phone right now. And then we got, let's see, Jared. Thanks for showing up, brother. And the Only Nation podcast was in here. And of course, T3's on the phone. He is a co-host of the Only Nation podcast with myself and Kevlar Prom Dress. So how you doing today, T3?
Hey, great, Homer. It's great to be on with you. Happy Sunday. And I'm ready to go.
Oh, man, I'm pumped up, man. I'm pumped up. Captain's got me pumped up. Man, yeah, so what you got for us today? How are we going to sneak out or get a win at home versus the Bucs?
Well, over the past week, the run-up has had Tampa Bay's defense. It's what all the talk has been about and how they've been dominating the headlines. And, of course, you've got Brady. He's playing starting out one of his strongest seasons ever. Many people refer to him as the GOAT, and the Buccaneers offense is really turning heads around the league thanks to a few familiar names. But I will tell you this. Despite the stout defense, they can be gashed. And I keep going back to the Oakland, Tampa Bay Super Bowl game. And if you look back closely at that game, the Tampa Bay defense had a much more stout defense than this team does. And yet the first quarter was controlled by the Raiders. Now, even though it was they put up 3 points, they demonstrated how, if with a combination of the run and the short pass, they could take over and control the game. Now, they got away from that. And then Gannon started becoming loose with his passes, and, of course, it all unraveled very quickly. But I will tell you, I think the whole key to today revolves around second-year offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. Now, he's been getting a lot of praise from Bruce Arians and from the Buccaneers group. I've been hearing on the podcast how they've been referring to themselves as Bucs Nation, and I just have to shudder and shake my head every time I hear that. But now, I got to give him some props. He's put together the number 2 scoring offense in the league. Right now they have 177 points. They're 8th in points per game. They're 14th in total yards, and they're 12th ranked in passing offense, and also 16th ranked in rushing attack, which is about mid-level. Now, Leftwich is going to go to head-to-head with a Paul Gunther defense that's going to be missing a key piece in Jonathan Abram. 2 pieces coming back, potentially, Malik Collins and bring Mo Hurst back. And a guy who I think has been Mr. Invisible so far this season, and that's Corey Littleton. I think he really needs to step up this week and protect that middle.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Another guy that can really contribute this week is Kwiatkowski. He's a thumper, man. If he can start thumping people in the middle of that line and or take away that outside run, that can help us, man. We want to definitely force Brady to stand, in the pocket, because he is a statue, as Captain was saying, so that'll give if we can, and with Trayvon Mullen and Mike Evans, I think he might be the answer to Mike Evans. Of course, the other guy, Goodwin, right, I think is his name, he's going to be pretty rough, but Nevin Lawson, he played a hell of a game against the Chiefs too, so, and then of course, yes, we are missing Abram, but I think he has enough experience to step in and actually contribute. He got that interception against Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, it showed his savviness, his understanding of the game, and probably the defense as well, and his ability to anticipate what the quarterback's going to do. So, while he is not Jonathan Abram, I think he is a solid backup, and I think that we can handle it. Now, I'm interested to see what Irvin can do. I'm kind of surprised that he came in so quick, but if they brought him up so quickly, it probably goes to show that he's actually in good shape, and they believe in what he can do. And of course, with what Mayock and Gruden have been doing as far as evaluation, you got to trust what they're doing by bringing them up.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much burn Irving's going to get, but if he can come in and make 1 or 2 dynamic plays, that could be all you need to inject a little bit of life into the defense. I really think they're going to rely heavy on Mr. Furl. Now, he had a really good game last week, but I think Klee is really going to have to step up on the defensive line and really be a solidifying factor. Now, as far as the receiving corps goes on Tampa Bay's side, with Godwin and Miller and Evans and, of course, Gronk coming back from injury, they've got a lot of weapons, plus Jones coming out of the backfield. But as you mentioned, if Kwiatkowski plays a good game, I've mentioned this several times on the podcast that we do, and I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. When Kwiatkowski plays well, he elevates everybody else on the team. And I'm hoping, and I'm pointing to the back end of that defense, because Heath and Harris are really going to have to step up. And I hope that Gunther puts Joyner back in the safety position a little bit today, because when he played safety last year, he actually played better, I think, than in the slot.
That would be pretty interesting. You know, Meek Robinson, he came in and he got toasted on his first play, but you know, the kid is obviously a playmaker in college, so if he can contribute like that and allow our secondary to move around, that would be perfect. That would be perfect.
Yeah, I think Meek is going to get a lot more burn in the slot than he has. He got torched his first time up, but that's going to happen to a rookie.
Yeah.
Rookie has to learn from those mistakes, and Trayvon Mullen knows that well, and he was able to learn from his mistakes early, and I think he's done a very, very good job holding down his side. So if Nevin Lawson can play similar to the way he's done the last couple of weeks in the absence of Arnett and hold that side down, then I really think it really reverts to the back end of the defense. And I'm looking at Heath, Harris, and Joyner.
Yeah. So, you know, the Bucs, they love the blitz. Derek Carr is very good against the blitz. So how do you see this going down? Do you think that, you know, the deep ball's coming, or do you think those intermediate passes are coming and it's up to our wide receivers to get the yak yards?
Well, I think the game plan, I believe, is going to have to be the pass to set up the run. I know that Gruden loves to run the ball, but I think he's going to have to put it in Carr's hands for quick release and get the middle of the field open up so that then Josh Jacobs can start to eat. And that's going to be part of this ball control offense. They're going to need to keep the offense on the field.
Right.
Now, that may keep the score down, but I believe that's going to be the only way that the Raiders can keep up and get the victory. So in a minute, I'll give you my game scores, because I've actually got two of them. So I've got two potential scenarios. Because remember, 2 weeks ago, I told you that if the Raiders won, it was going to have to be the offense outscoring their offense, which is exactly what they did. And I did not think that they would hold Kansas City to under 30 points, which they did not. So, fortunately, things turned out. But I don't see the exact same scenario this week, but I see two possible things happening.
Well, let's hear it.
All right. Well, first of all, I on our podcast, the Only Nation podcast, I did say that I believe that the Raiders were going to pull out the victory. I'm kind of hedging my bets on that. I'm going to go two different directions. If the Tampa Bay offense continues to be as prolific as it is, I think they can probably squeeze out 31 points against the Raiders defense. In this case, they would win 31-20. If they win and score over 30 points, I think it's going to be probably an 11-point spread. So you're looking at 31-20. If, however, if the Raiders defense can step up, if they can get a couple of quick stops and maybe goad the goat, if you will, into throwing a couple of costly picks, or maybe even turn the ball over on a fumble, if the Raiders can hold Tampa Bay to 24 points, then they can score 27 themselves. I see the Raiders possibly squeaking out with a 27-24 victory.
Hey, I'm right there with you. Of course, on the Only Nation podcast, I got us down for the loss. I'm thinking if we lose, it'll be 24-17, something like that. Low-scoring game, because I think the Bucs are going to want to run against us also and keep our offense off the field. Now, if we win, I got the same score as you got. I got 27-24, which would be, you know, a squeaker, you know, as I said earlier. But yeah, you know, it could go either way. It's any given Sunday. It just depends on our defense, man. Is our defense going to be able to step up to the challenge of facing an elite defense in the NFL? We've already showed that we can stop an elite offense, but we got to be consistent for 4 quarters and match another defense punch for punch, you know. And that's the key to me, in my mind. Our defense is the one that's going to start to make us win this game or help us win these games. They need to show up if we're going to go to the playoffs and make a good run, because this league right now, the scoring is off the charts. We've never seen anything like this. They're letting holding go. They're not calling as many penalties, you know. So our defense, man, we have to show up. We have to show up to win this game.
Right. I've got two takes really as far as takeaways for the game. Number one, I see that this is a case where two team captains, and I'm looking at Derek Carr, I'm looking at Rodney Hudson, need to step up into that locker room and say, okay, we need to do a team meeting. Gruden, just sit there and listen. We need to talk to the guys on the team. This is a team. We need to come together. We've had a lot of crap to deal with this week. We've had a lot of people who are trying to unravel the team with unconscious or dangerous or reckless actions, which has risked a couple of people not being able to play and actually resulted in somebody not being able to play.
Right.
But what we need to do is we need to put that aside. We need to come together as a team and say, look, number one, we're at home. Number two, we're right there on the cusp of the division lead. We need to hold our ground. But number three, we can beat this team. And this is where the team captains need to say, we can step up and do this. We can take charge of this. We've heard all the national narrative bearing the Raiders and talking about how it's going to be a repeat of the 48-21 demolition in the Super Bowl. We've heard all that. But this team has proven on more than one occasion that it can step up, and next man up mentality is what it's going to take. And I think if Derek Carr and Rodney Hudson can grab the bull by the horns and grab these guys by the back of the jerseys and pull them up, I think if they have that enthusiasm and they believe in the talent level that they have, I think they can pull it out. And number two, the other thing is, gosh, if we were to lose this game, I don't think the sky's falling. I'd much rather be 4-2 than 3-3. But if we're 3-3, I think the important test comes next week against Cleveland. I'm not brushing this game off. I'm not saying that today's win would not be important, but I think it's more important to take a look down the road at next week, get everybody healthy, and then focus on the AFC opponent. I would much rather win that game and win it convincingly and just try to play competitively and keep it even this week.
Yeah. I said that earlier. If we do lose this game, Raider Nation, don't start calling into the Raider Nation radio and bitching and moaning because we're still 500. But we want to win this game for sure because 4-2 is much better than 3-3. I think this team is believing in themselves, especially since we beat the Chiefs, because nobody gave us a chance. But this victory right here could really galvanize the locker room, right? And show that no matter what happens, we can overcome as long as we stay together, like you're saying. And that's where the team captains would come in, leading the way for that. And stepping it up and being motivators, because it's not all on John Gruden. They're team captains for a reason. So this victory could really galvanize this locker room, and I'm hoping it happens.
And things got out of control last week with Tampa Bay and Green Bay, but Aaron Rodgers was playing it loose and fast, and he was throwing some dangerous passes, and that got the team in trouble. Derek Carr is not that guy.
Right.
He had the one errant pass with Darren Waller that was overthrown and intercepted. But if you look at the two quarterbacks, Brady and Derek Carr, who's got the pick six? Well, it wouldn't be Mr. Carr, would it?
Right. No, and then again, Derek Carr is really good against the blitz, and the Buccaneers like to blitz, so that's their main game plan. So if we can score a couple of times on these blitzes, and take the lead, we can force Tampa Bay to make adjustments, and then we would be able to make adjustments, and then Josh Jacobs can step in and take over. Ultimately, that would be our goal, I would assume.
They need to take control with an early affirmative game plan and stick to it. Yeah. And again, I keep pointing back to the Super Bowl. Had they kept doing what they've been doing early in the game, they could have controlled that game. And the Tampa Bay defense was starting to get winded early. You could see that. If they can do that with this defense, I think they can win them a little bit quicker and start to really turn the tide of the game. That's what's going to be the important thing today.
All right, cool. Well, T3, I appreciate you coming on the Raider Homer channel. Tell the Raider Nation where they can find you.
Great, thanks. Easiest way to find me is through Twitter, T3_sports703. You can also find me on the Only Nation podcast, which comes out every week, usually on Thursdays. On Facebook, you can find me on Tom, Thom Jones. That's to keep me from getting confused with the famous Las Vegas entertainer. So that's how you can look me up, and I'm with the nation all the time.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, Raider Nation, and that does it for Raider Homer's pregame show, Week 7. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody, I appreciate everybody for coming on the show. I appreciate Captain Jack, appreciate Mooky Bucs. Y'all find them on social media. One more shout-out to the chat line. Oakland Raider Savage is showing up. Hey, y'all don't forget that me, Oakland Raider Savage, and Asylum, we do Raider Nation Music TV on Saturday nights. it got wild last night, so you never know what's going to happen on the Raider Homer channel. Sometimes we try to keep it PG, sometimes we go straight rated R. That's just what it is. And I put it in my videos that it's not made for kids. This is made for the Raider Nation. When we do things for the kids, we do things for the kids, charity-wise. But, hey, this is for adults, so I appreciate, everybody tuning in to Raider Nation Music TV, and I appreciate everybody tuning in to the Raider Homer pregame show. Share, like, all that stuff, man. And we'll see you next week, y'all. And, of course, we always like to get out of here with the message from the Violator. What message do you have for the Raider Nation here and now and into the future?
Pretty simple, brother. Raider Nation, I'm speaking to you as an ambassador. Always stay true, stay loyal, keep the beliefs, and keep the faith. We will return.